Welcome to another episode of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. What are you drinking there, my love?
I am drinking water, and I love this hotel because they are, I think, the only one in Guanacaste that has the 5 leaves for being green. And they have actually gone to glass water bottles.
That's great.
Which is a beautiful
So they're reusable.
thing. Reusable.
No more plastics. The
refillable.
plastics get in there and follow up the wildlife.
And they actually have hydration stations where you can fill them as well. And I read that the water here in Costa Rica has a lot of calcium in it, which they attribute to the stronger bones and the longer life.
Wow.
I know, I thought that was really
I didn't know
fascinating.
that.
Yeah.
So you're teaching me things today. I try to learn something new every day. So
Good.
there's
Love
one thing, right?
Right.
But anyway, to the episode, our new episode is going to be about, I think you were going to talk about getting more flies. This is my own interpretation. Getting more flies with sugar instead of the shit emoji. I use the shit emoji because it makes you laugh instead of...
It does make you
Right.
laugh, but it doesn't make people laugh when you treat them like that. And, we've been talking to a lot of people in the service industry and, just in life. And, if you are going into a restaurant and you're all angry or agitated because maybe you had to wait a few seconds to get seated, or your server didn't come over right away, or you're waiting for a cocktail at night and it just took too long, you really need to learn to be grateful
Right.
for the moment, right?
Right.
And understand that nobody is purposely making you wait. And nobody is purposely...
Unless you are the shit emoji, maybe they are on
Well,
purpose. That could happen.
Exactly.
I'm kind of jumping ahead to what you
Right.
get, but go ahead, keep going.
Exactly. So if you walk in, and treat the other person with the same respect that you want, that's all that I think that, we all want as humans. We all want to treat each other the way we want to be treated. But so often you'll see somebody go in and act like, well, I'm spending so much money here that, they should treat me, like I'm spectacular. Well, they will if you treat them like they're spectacular. Whether you're going in for a cup of coffee or you're going in for a $400 dinner. It shouldn't matter. And I think that's really the bottom line. And a lot of people that come into money later think that money buys them the respect, right?
Well, I'm not sure why they think that, but it's not just about going into the service industry. It's just interacting with any human being on the planet.
Right.
We call it being a light giver rather than a light taker.
Yes.
And I was talking to one of the gals this morning. She jumped on immediately. She understood exactly what I was talking about. If you're a light giver, meaning you walk into a room and you shine and everybody can see it, you got a big smile on your face, you're oozing positivity. It's very different than someone coming in being a light taker. They come in and demand this or demand that, or maybe they're just very silent and angry, or you know what I'm saying. We could all walk into a room and I could say, tell me, is that person a light giver or a light taker? Within 99%, we'd all be right on the money of
Absolutely.
every individual in the room, right?
Absolutely. Every now and again, we'll flip somebody who's a light taker into a light giver, but usually, people are set in their ways, when it comes to that, and it's really evident. And what happens is, those light takers, guess what? They go on vacation, and if they want sunshine, it's going to rain, or it's too sunny and they can't find shade, or they want to, this is a good one. Please don't seat me here. Please don't seat me here. They're saying to themselves, guess what? That's what the universe hears, and that's where you're going to get seated, right?
Right.
At the very place where you don't want to. Whereas if you go in and you really don't expect anything except to, treat somebody the way that you want to be treated, and no matter what it is that you're doing, even if you're just walking along the street and you smile at somebody.
Although, not to correct you, when you say not to expect anything, we expect the opposite. I expect everyone to be a light giver as well, because we're putting out positivity. We're always in shock when we get something back that's not of the same. Like attracts like. So if you go into any situation, why not expect the best, right?
Yes,
I'm talking about expect the best from the people. So
right. It's very
I
different than what
saying.
I was saying is don't expect. I'm not talking about from people.
Right.
I always expect the best from people, and
because we put that out. It's not like it's not required. It's only what you get back, because life is a mirror.
Exactly.
If you go into a situation with a smile, most people will smile back at you.
Absolutely. Right? I guess what I was referencing is that don't do something because you expect that if you do this, they're going to do that.
Right.
Do something because of who you are. And usually you'll get who the other person is back. And, you find this in relationships too. A lot of times, in that honeymoon phase, this is a perfect example. In the honeymoon phase, usually, both people are sort of on their best behavior and acting a specific way and doing...
Hola, amigos.
Yeah.
How are you?
You want to be
Here,
in
say
our
hi.
video?
Say hi to the world.
Welcome. Welcome.
These are some of our friends. This is what we're talking about making friends when we're on vacation.
Welcome you home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sister here this
It's
time.
like our class at
Just 10 days, but we'll be back before
Alright.
the wedding.
Did
Yes.
you have breakfast?
Yes.
We did.
Most fantastic breakfast ever. Always here, right?
All right.
We saw
Wait.
cuckoo.
No.
Algo
Kakaroto.
Kakaroto.
Kakaroto. Yes.
Hold on. 10 days, and when is your wedding?
The wedding's 1 year from last week.
December 5.
That's right. Very
Yes,
good.
good
Flash.
memory.
He knows everything.
He knows everything.
Welcome once again. Nice to see
Thank
you.
you, my friend. Good to
Very
see
well.
you.
Good to see you.
All right.
Good to see you. We'll be
Have a
back.
nice- see you
We'll be
later.
back for cocktail.
All right.
Thank you, friends. Okay, but anyway, so sorry for that. But at the end of the day, we were just talking about that. It's
Right?
like, our friends here. They are like all friends, amigos.
Exactly. If you treat people the way that you want to be treated, like friends, like family, really, I feel like they're a family. This is like coming home for me.
Right.
And they're just, and I expect nothing other than just their beautiful souls shining through. So I wanted to clarify. I don't expect now to get free drinks or, something like that. Expect nothing.
No, that's
And,
right.
When you do that, you're always delighted and amazed. Which, what a great way to live, right?
Yes, exactly. It is a great way to live.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be delighted and amazed? Constantly, I do, and I feel like even walking down to this beach that we've been on every single day, when I look at it, just stop it every day.
Oh, it's just incredible.
The way the sun
I'm
shines,
stopping
the
here
way
so you
that
can see
the
it.
trees, hang over into the water, the
Well, you
way
just-
that the iguanas rustle in the leaves.
Yeah, you're just living life like a kid again. It was.
It's fabulous.
It is just wild. Even right down to these lion ants down here.
Those are pretty cool.
Anyway, but so you were just saying that you get more with sugar, obviously.
You do.
in life.
Exactly. I mean, think about what you want. Do you feel good if you get something for free and you've sort of fought for it and been a rude, angry person, or you told the manager, I didn't like this service, and and they give you something for free? None of that feels great.
No, none of that matters.
Right?
I mean, we've had, we try to go through life and enjoy every drop, as you guys know. But we've had our interactions that haven't been perfect, and somebody would come back from a hotel or from a meal and say, hey, please come back, it's on us. And we say, no, thank you very much, it's a nice gesture, but we don't go back, because to your point, it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't
Right?
feel good. I don't want to go back just because I'm going to get something for free. I went there in the first place because I was excited to try it out, see the service, meet the people, try the food or whatever kind of event it was. And you know, we have a place like that in Colorado that we were really excited about because it's local for us. And we just did not have a great experience all around. And we didn't say anything at the time because we kept thinking, well, maybe it will get better.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but don't remind me because we don't want to go back there anyway. But
well,
they happen.
We sent a note after the fact that was very nice, only because it happens to be a place where we live and we wanted them to succeed. And they sent back a note saying that please come in, be our guests. And we decided not to, you know, to do that because I really like to see how people are going to treat you regardless of if that's your hometown or if you're going to come back or not. You know, and we saw that a lot when we were out in the Hamptons with the kids. We went to one of the top restaurants, and when I read the reviews, I was like, these reviews are just terrible. How can this place be so highly rated? But I wanted to go on my own and experience it. And we actually had a very similar experience. And you know what? We decided not to stay. And they called us. We never reached back out, but they called us and wanted us again to come back in. And there's just too many people in the world to experience their gift of light, that when you encounter somebody who's
a light taker,
you know, I suggest running the other way. Life is way too short. There's just no reason to have light takers, and some people call them vampires, right? Because they suck the life out of you.
Right.
So if you happen to be with somebody who is a vampire, a light taker, you know, you really need to put a lot of thought into if that relationship is healthy for you.
Right.
And it's not like you need to be mean and say, you know, anything like that, but you need to spend time with people that are...
Well, you move on. Yesterday we talked about building those strong borders. You just have to, you know, it's not that you don't want to be empathetic, because I always like to think we're empathetic. So anybody that needs our help, we're willing to offer it up. But some people will drag you down. You know those types, and they are the light takers, and they just have decided to live their life that way.
Right.
You have to be strong enough to build that border and say, look, I'm here if you need me, give me a call. But outside of that, you don't need to say much more, just move on. So, I mean, that's what you're saying. So you can still be empathetic, try to help all you can, but some people don't want the help. I mean, some people have decided that they want to live their life that way. Again, we say that a lot on this channel, that, you know, it's everyone's choice. At the end of it all, you can look at all the options and you get to choose. That's the beauty about being human. You get to choose every split second of your life.
Right.
You get to make another choice. It's a new beginning every split second, every day. I mean, that's the beauty of all this.
And you can choose to be pleasant and sweet, or you can choose to be angry or mean. Everything is a choice. You know, the older I get, the more apparent it becomes to me that those that anger and aggression is not only is it...
I got this bug that's loving me.
Oh.
That's right.
And this is supposed to be one of those insect repellent.
Well, he's not going near my kerchief or whatever you call it thing, bandana. He's just going to my face.
Well, I would... He's in love with it. Look how beautiful your face is, right?
So sweet.
But anyway, what I was going to say is, you know, the older I get and I look back at my life, and, you know, we had a great talk with somebody today, is that, you know, you can't change yesterday, but you can take yesterday, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 30 years ago, and you can be better today. Don't compare yourself to anyone else except yourself. You know, your competition is you, right? So you have an opportunity today to be better than you were yesterday. And for me, that means always trying to embrace some other people and see their beauty, just their natural, organic beauty as a human being, right?
Anything, these trees, the animals, the weather. this beauty in all of it.
All of it.
Right.
And, I think when I was younger, I took a lot of that for granted. I mean, I think, the world revolves around you when you're a child, because everything is done for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess I'm trying to get back to being a child again, where you look at everything through childlike eyes. I guess so. It's good and bad. I guess. I mean, when I was a kid, everything was interesting. Everything was a miracle. I think we're back there again.
Well, right, but you're wiser back there because now you don't. As a kid, we expect certain things that were done for us by our parents because that was the way it was. Now you can see the miracle of everything without expectation. That is where the real gratitude is.
Well, I think, some people do learn, and maybe they start out one way and they learn more along the path. I mean, hopefully we're all learning every day. We say this all the time too. I'd like to learn something new every day. And, hopefully we're doing that. We're all evolving. We're becoming more enlightened as a species.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I don't even feel like I'm the same person that I was, let's say, in high school, right? Or in college, or, when I met you. I feel like I'm a totally different person than, and I know you're a totally different person. And I love the fact that you and I have embarked upon this journey together and, decided that we wanted to explore a similar journey. Because a lot of times couples get to this point. The kids are little and you're very busy doing for them, like we just talked about, and then the kids leave and at that point you have to really reevaluate what is there in the relationship that is the core. And for you and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we cried our eyes out when the girls left, because it really changed who we were. Well,
it's just another chapter of a beautiful life kind of closing down, but opening. And what you have to do, you get upset because you're thinking about that. You have to think looking forward. Again, we have a choice every given moment to make a new choice, a new chapter. Like now we're with the kids down here. Our oldest is getting married. It's a whole different life. We're hanging out with them like we're hanging out with another couple of friends of ours. Very different. But yeah, we closed down that chapter of raising the kids, which can be sad if you think about the loss of all of that goodness, but there's so much more goodness coming over the horizon. But that's just you try to change your mindset on all of that.
And anybody that knows us knows that we use the term free birds. A lot of people will say, what's it like to be empty nesters? And we immediately switched over to free birds because empty nest seems, that's
lonely.
And we have been incredibly blessed that after we got over the kids leaving and going on their own, which I have to tell you is the greatest gift from God, and such a blessing that they're both healthy individuals, that they're able to do that. That's what we raised them to do. That was the goal, and they both achieved it. And I am beyond blessed that, for that they were able to leave the nest.
That's what we raised them up to do.
Exactly. But the key is free birds means that now we really have the freedom to soar and fly in what we want to do 100% of the time, because so much of our lives were dedicated to our daughters and our family. And now we're dedicated to ourselves and each other. And we've been on this incredible journey where I think, we've both changed so much, right?
Yeah. The outside, the ego, I guess. I would say, the higher self. I know you don't like that term, but the higher self is always the same. We're in here learning on this journey, the 100 years, whatever it is that you spend on this planet. We're learning every day, but you're still the same soul, if you will. But this gets really deep. But talking about ego, this is people learning on this planet, and some people have a lot further to go than others towards their path of enlightenment. Doesn't mean that anyone's better than the other person, but they're all different. Again, just a choice. So, yeah, I think we all start out as one thing, and as you kind of learn from parents and teachers and your environment, call it a shell if you will, starts to build up around you, and you start to build this facade that sometimes it needs to be broken down to get back to where you really belong, right?
Sure, and I think a lot of times too, we become somewhat a product of our environment. You know, whether you grew up in an abusive household, or a household with a lot of anger, or a beautiful upbringing, or you know, maybe you had nannies raise you and your parents weren't around, or you went off to boarding school, or your family moved a lot, or they got divorced. I mean, there are so many possibilities. You know, maybe you lost a parent, maybe you lost both. Everything is, you know, everything has an effect on your life, and you have a choice then.
Right.
And that's what I think is the big deal. We have a choice. We have a choice to be kind to others, but we also have a choice to not be kind to others. And when you see that happening, I've
was
seen
just
it.
wondered why do they pick that? It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense.
Why would you pick it?
But I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, I didn't know better, and you know, I'm not proud of that, but I need to admit that, because as I'm older, I'm much more enlightened, and I think that we all need to acknowledge that when you're younger, a lot of things that you don't understand, we tend to be more negative about, right? And I think if I'm going to be really honest with myself.
Right. Well, and everybody's different, right?
Right. I mean, I know you've always been the kindest soul ever. I remember real quickly, when Jeffrey and I just started dating, I was walking outside of where I lived, and a baby bird had fallen from the nest, and my heart just sank. And I know that you can't touch the bird, and I remember I called Jeffrey and I said, you know, do you think you could come and help me? And he says, survival of the fittest. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can never go out on another date with this person again. And I then called the Audubon Society and went up to the store and got one of those plastic cartons and a rope. I put the bird in it with gloves and grass, and I strung it up, and it was able to get back to the mother. But the point is, I was very concerned about Jeffrey's his light giving at that point in time, and I'm bringing that up.
Should call me in the middle, like I was running a sales meeting or something. But anyway, that's besides the point.
But now it doesn't matter. If you were running a sales meeting, I think that you would be able to say, hey guys, I have to go. I've got something really important to take care of, because another living creature is far more important than making a sale.
But I got 10 living creatures in front of me looking for advice and direction. You do have to figure it out and divide up your time. You're only one person. But
right. What I'm saying is now,
yes,
you wouldn't even think twice. You would never say that, right? So my point is that we all have times in the past where, you know, we can say, that isn't how I would do it if I had the opportunity to do it again. And guess what? The beautiful thing is, every day we have an opportunity to redo it and be kind. So again, be kind to others and be that light that you want others to be to you. Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love.
Hey guys, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. It would help us. Add any comments too, thoughts in here, because we're writing the book and we're putting people's comments in the book and writing as we go. So it's a living, working document. We'll see you.